All right, welcome. Trying to put my hat up so you can see my face. I am Captain Jay Carson. This is Captain Kenny Mullins over here to the left of me. We should be having Captain Pat McGriff up here. Captain Jay Carson. This is Captain Kenny Mullins over here to the left of me.
Hang on, we're having technical difficulty. That's what it is.
That is weird. That's super weird. Hold on.
Hang on, we're having technical difficulty.
There. That should fix it. All right. Sorry about that. Trying to work in something new tonight, but we'll just go with what we got. All right. So, like I said, this is the Big Bend Fishing Report. I am Captain Jay Carson. This is Kenny Mullins. We are coming to you from Keaton Beach, trading post down here in Keaton Beach, right post, I guess about a week post Idalia.
Yep.
So we just wanted to hop on and just kind of give everybody an update of what's happening down here on our coastline, and as far as, just some of the things that we're seeing, and just kind of give, we don't have too much of a fishing report, as neither of us have been on the water very much in the last week, as we've been dealing with a whole host of other issues, be it, cleaning yards, running generators, cleaning up debris. So all of that stuff is kind of what we've been doing. Steve, what's up, Steve?
Hey, Steve.
Hope you're doing all right. I know I talked to Steve earlier this week, and he checked in on me, which I greatly appreciated, and I think Steve his property managed to come out okay. So, yeah, we just wanted to check in, let everybody know that we're still here. We're still, around and functioning, and just kind of maybe answer some questions that you guys may have in regards to the damage, or
And we did slip out on the water and check things out.
We did do that today. Yeah, today was the first time we slipped out onto the water and got a chance to kind of look around. And we'll give you kind of a report on that, I guess. We can talk a little bit about that. But before we get to that, like I said, just want to appreciate everybody hopping on tonight. We have internet down here. I don't have internet at my house, but we have internet down here at the trading post. Kenny, how did you fare during this whole ordeal?
Could have been a lot worse. We didn't have any damage to our house, so thankfully, we lost some fencing, a shed, one of our dog kennels, a lot of trees down, tree limbs. We did leave the night before, and when we came back, there was a half a mile of trees down getting to our house.
Yeah.
We couldn't even get to our house. I had a friend come over with a tractor and chainsaws.
How long did it take you to get down your road?
He started before we even got there. He was working on it for probably 2 hours before we got there, and it was another hour and a half. So it took a few hours.
Good 3-4 hours to get hacked into your place. We were a little bit more fortunate than that. Of course, we live in a subdivision or neighborhood, but our neighborhood did not fare too well. Lots of trees. We have a lot of trees in our neighborhood, and there was so many trees blown on houses. I would say most of the damage that you see is in and around Perry, and it's mostly tree damage.
Correct.
Yeah. Which is blown over, obviously, from the storm when it came through.
Looks like a lot of tornadoes spun off is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I think so too. We fared okay. We're missing a few shingles off of our roof and a few trees down in the yard, but everything else is pretty much okay. Our house is okay, vehicles are okay, and my boat is okay. So
yes,
boats
the important
okay.
part.
Yeah, for sure.
If we can ever use them again.
Yeah.
Or when.
So just to kind of give you an update of the status of, I guess, our ramps in Taylor County. I know that I don't know about the Steenhatchee public ramp on the
I drove side. By there. It didn't look bad, but looks can be deceiving from just looking from the road.
I can tell you that there's a lot of debris in the canals and the channels that we use to get in and out of to launch our boats. So we went out today and launched out of Keaton Beach and just kind of had to go super slow down the canal because there's rooftops and metal sheeting and siding and boards and lots of submerged structures in the canal itself, which makes it a little hazardous to get in and out.
Yeah, if we wouldn't have went at low tide, we would have hit stuff.
We did kind of plan to go out on low tide so that we could kind of see what was sticking out.
And had you on the bow, keep an eye on things, directing me which way to go.
Sure. So I will say, and then we checked out another ramp yesterday, and then there's just a lot of debris in the canals and in the areas close to shore too.
And like we talked about earlier, so a lot of the parts of the canals things have changed. It's, some parts were a foot shallower. Going out the Keaton Channel, there was some areas to the left and the right that were significantly shallower than normal. So it's pushed some stuff around.
Yeah, we definitely had some erosion, some undersurface or underwater erosion going on. A lot of silt and sediment pushed in to the canals. So there's in one area of the Keaton Beach Canal out there by the pier, it's significantly shallower.
Yeah, about a foot
than it was previously. So just a lot of silt pushed in, and just need to be extra careful as we kind of go through the next several months or next several weeks,
right?
As we get going. Davis Dodson, appreciate you showing up, my man. How you doing, Davis? Scott Parrish, hello, Scott. We did get out in the water. We actually caught a fish.
Yeah,
today.
Which that wasn't our goal.
No, we were just out there more looking than anything up. Hey, George, how you doing, George? Thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate you. I know George was down here doing some work in Taylor County, helping with cleanup. So Steve, I figured would be some changes in the canals coming out of our creek and Ezel. A lot of mud and grass changed some things in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It was definitely we noticed some changes as we were easing out today as well, Steve. Appreciate you, Davis. Yeah, it's good to have you on here.
Yeah, it's definitely not the time to be going out right now. I mean, it needs to be cleaned up before people starts.
Yeah, I would say that it's going to be. I mean, we haven't got word on. Well, I mean, have you got word on maybe a status update or as far as what the progress of maybe getting the canals cleaned up? I know that's kind of like the last on the list that people are worried about. People having access to go fishing, but a few of us, we kind of depend on our ability to go fishing to make some money, so it's kind of important to us. But Kenny's going to share a little update.
So I emailed the county commissioner, and I told him that I knew there were more pressing concerns than the boat ramp issues, but it is a concern for us because we want to support our families. And he responded late last night, said the board met yesterday, and the update from staff is the agreement is being finalized, but work has not gotten underway. They are working to get things started, but he does not have a time frame. I will say there was county workers out here today at the ramp. I don't know what they were doing. It looks like they may have moved one dock, picked it up out of the water. The other one they moved over and tied off to the other one.
It did look like they were starting to kind of work on at least the ramp basin right there next to the ramp.
Still a lot of cleanup in the canal.
One of the floating docks was completely flipped upside down and on top of the other one, pretty much. So it looks like they got...
Actually, two of them were flipped over. One of them they took out of the water.
Right.
And the other one still flipped upside down, tied to the other one.
So it looks like they at least, they didn't flip it back over yet, but at least they got it off of the other one. It's still upside down.
And yesterday, they were right in front of where you had to back in.
Right.
So
they moved it out of the way, and they do have one of the ramps blocked off at Keaton Beach, so you can't even have access to the one.
I imagine they're going to block off that other side.
I would not be surprised if both sides were blocked off. while they were actively working in that. So I mean, I look for that to be the case here in the next few days, week or so. I don't know. It's going to be a little bit before they start getting things cleaned up.
I know the Coast Guard's been out, the FWC's been out. They've been doing surveys. One of the channel markers is blown over. They put a floating buoy marker. They tied it off to that. I'm sure if anyone goes out of Keaton, you know which channel marker it was. It looked like Swiss cheese.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely met its match. So I guess we don't have too much to report as far as fishing wise, other than we did.
Well, it's been a while. We can talk about how the fishing was, a few weeks ago, because it's been a while since we've been on.
Sure. I will say, I just wanted to say though, before we get to that though, Kenny and I did ride, several miles both north and south of Keaton today, just more or less looking. We just wanted to know what kind of debris was out there in the water, what kind of new obstacles that there may be, and there's definitely some stuff in the water out in front of Dark Island.
Yep.
So if you're in and around that area, you'll know you see stuff sticking up, looks like roofs or pieces of wood. Down around Deacle Beach, there's some stuff out in front of Deacle Beach up close that's in the water.
And in the channel there.
And in the channel, yeah. The Deacle Beach channel has some debris coming in and out of it.
Did you mention how shallow it is at the ramp there?
I didn't, but I noticed we were looking at that yesterday, that it looks like a significant amount of sediment got washed into the Deacle Beach ramp basin, and so it looks significantly shallower than it was as well. So that's something that I guess is going to have to be addressed moving forward. We've been asking for these canals to get dredged for a long time.
Yes.
Long time. And maybe, just maybe, this might be the...
and we've been promised for a long time.
Yeah, the canal, yeah. And maybe, just maybe, this might be the catastrophe that allows these canals to get dredged. As far as the fishing goes before the storm came, you want to just give a quick rundown of... you were catching more trout than I was. I wasn't really targeting trout. Let's talk about that.
The trout bite has been pretty decent this summer overall, especially compared to last summer. So before the storm hit, we were catching them in about 4 to 5 feet of water. They were congregated into small areas, and you could catch some here and there scattered, but primarily fishing 1 to 2 areas that we were consistently catching them with redfish mixed in, but primarily on cut bait and live pinfish.
Yeah, yeah.
And nose hooking gulps on just a regular hook under a popping cord.
Mm-hmm. The water's been hot. It was still hot today.
Yes. 93 degrees?
It was warm today. I think when we got out on the flats,
you just answered Steve's question.
91. Steve, there you go. 91 today on the flats. It was 93 in the canal.
93 in the canal, 91.6.
Yeah, I saw. And as we were riding it.
Yeah,
fluctuated
went down
from
to
90 to 91, but it was still in the 90s.
Yeah.
As far as water temps go, which we did get into some areas that there's a bunch of ballyhoo around, lots of mullet.
A lot of mullet, a lot of ballyhoo.
There's some areas out there where the water is just as clear as it has been, but there's some areas around north of Keaton that is really stirred up and silty.
Yeah, it's clear but silty. I shouldn't say it was not clear. It's not
clear.
Stained. It's not stained.
It's not stained, but it's silty. There's very much a lot of just stirred up siltiness in the water, and so the visibility in the water is maybe a foot. In some of those areas north of Keaton.
Tons of grass.
Yes, unfortunately, the floating grass is still out there.
I think it's worse because now it's just spread out everywhere.
It's a little bit of everywhere. The floating grass, I was hoping, that was keeping my fingers crossed that maybe that floating grass would be gotten rid of after that storm came through, but nope, it's still out there. Plenty of floating grass, and yeah, I mean, you go south of Keaton, the water gets clear.
Yeah.
You go north
and
of Clayton.
kind of less grass that way.
We didn't quite make it all the way up to Spring Warrior, David Lee. We stopped a little bit before Spring Warrior, but it kind of looked all similar once we got to, I don't know, about Adams Beach or north from there.
How did the grass fare?
Grass is fine.
Yeah, there's no grass
Seth,
issues.
The grass is fine. I know. Steve Bond says, dang, I thought it was all in our yards. Unfortunately, there's still a ton of it out there, Steve. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's kind of patchy. Some areas didn't have as much as others, but it's still like the typical areas that we were running into the seagrass before the storm.
Yep.
Were the same areas that it was bad.
It's just now it's just scattered instead of large clumps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Brian.
So
thank you.
Yeah. So I'll make sure how far. So Seth asked if the grass is. Yeah, the grass is fine. That the actual seagrass itself is fine. Seth. George. What would be your prediction for when we can resume fishing? Never. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I just all upon when the county gets the stuff out of the canals. That's really what it's dependent upon. I mean, I wouldn't recommend anybody coming down here and
probably a couple weeks
trying to deal with the debris. And we took Kenny's John boat out today, so we didn't mess up in either of our guide boats, and we just kind of took it easy and just made sure that we were careful when we were going out. But there is definitely some trash around there, and if you're running in close anywhere around Keaton Beach, there's a lot of I wouldn't run in close anywhere around Keaton, north or south of Keaton. You're gonna wind up hitting something or tearing something off.
Yeah, I mean we seen a big chunk of metal
down around Grassy.
Yeah, around Grassy. There's no houses down there. I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, looked like a big crumpled up piece of roof that was all the way stuck in the mud down there around Grassy Island. Jennifer and Terry Scruggs, is the bait house still okay? I don't know the question. Answer that.
I'm not sure.
I haven't written down past.
I haven't either.
I'm referring to White's bait house.
Yeah.
I think so, but I don't think they're operational at the moment. I wouldn't say that there's anywhere to get. I know, as Joel Baldry at
he had shrimp.
Did he have shrimp? But I know he was not encouraging people to go on out.
Or maybe he didn't. He said people came in asking for shrimp.
Yeah, I don't think he had any.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
As far as some of the ramps farther west, as far as like Ecofina, Osceola, I haven't been over there to check those yet. I'm sure that there's going to be some new trees
hazards,
and stuff, new hazards in those rivers that you're going to have to navigate. But I haven't been over there to check on those yet. Maybe when I get a chance to go over there, I will hop on here and just give a little update as far as those are concerned.
I may try to get over there. Well, we probably pick a time, hop on together.
Yeah, for sure. Chris Sensi, what's up, dude? I hope you're doing good over there in Jax. Appreciate you checking in. It says, hope you guys can get on the water soon and get back to work. I hope so too, Chris. I think that we could, like I said, once you get out of the canal, it's not too bad out there as far as where, most of the fishing is. There's not a whole lot once you get out there. It's just getting to and from.
Yeah.
The launches to where the fish are.
And I mean, we don't even know if we were technically supposed to launch.
We
just did
we
our
snuck
own.
Out. We snuck out. I don't know. Maybe we'll get in trouble
Getting
later.
cabin fever.
Yeah. I just wanted to I just wanted to get my eyes on what it was like out there, just see how much stuff was out there, and I have pretty good feel for it.
I mean, honestly, people shouldn't be until it's cleaned up.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, and there's so much, stuff still on the side of the roads in Keaton Beach. There's just a lot of, people cleaning up, houses damaged.
You still have, people setting up, passing out food and porta potties, for the neighborhood. And showers and laundry facilities set up in the ramp parking lot. So, I mean, it's probably going to be a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Stephen Rackley, appreciate you joining us tonight, Stephen. Here's a little bit of a report from further west. St. Mark's was okay today. Some of the channel markers have been moved, and the water is very dark. That makes sense. Usually that water gets pretty dark when we get a bunch of rain over there. I'm sure it's the same out near Ecofina and also as far as the Tannic. It was already dark before the hurricane up there as far as Tannic goes. I'm sure it's just the same. It's just as dark or darker now.
Right.
It seems like we always get one of these, like, not necessarily a Category 3 hurricane, but, you get like a storm this time of year that really puts a lot of fresh water out and gets that water up there dark.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to see like we did last year. I mean, it really wasn't that much water.
No, we didn't have a whole lot of rainfall. I mean, maybe a few inches, 3 or 4 inches, 4 or 5 inches, something like that. Probably about 5 inches, 4 to 5 inches is what I would say. It's not like catastrophic, rainfall flooding.
Right.
It's, good.
2 years ago it was really bad. Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that. As far as the storm surge down at Keaton, Keaton and Deacle Beach fared okay as far as storm surge goes. I think most everybody had water not get into their houses. I'm hearing it was like between 5 and 6 feet, which was not quite high enough. Plus, it also hit at low tide too, which was fortunate.
Right. Now, areas to our south that.
Right, Steenhatchee, Cedar Key, Horseshoe Beach, those all had significantly more storm surge than Keaton did. We were still right on. I mean, they declared the eye of the storm making landfall at Keaton Beach.
Correct.
But I think we were kind of on that western side of it, so we didn't get those true onshore winds. In fact, all my damage at my house, and I think most everywhere around here, is wind coming out of the north.
Mine was all twisted up.
Yeah. I had,
which I still think a lot of tornadoes.
Yeah. I think we had some tornadoes, but the prevailing wind, I guess what you want to say, was kind of out of the north. Those houses at Deacle Beach, all the debris blew out into the water, and the houses got messed up from that side. Steve Berryhill, what was the water temp around Grassy? I think it was high 90s.
Yeah, right around 91.
It was like 90.9, 91 degrees. So, Bob Myers, would y'all be able to keep us updated on the condition of the canal and when they get things cleared up? So can we head back down?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll try to keep you posted on that as far as when the condition of it will get back up and running.
Man,
that's good stuff right there. Yeah, Davis, it's still hot. I was thinking that when we had that, we were supposed to have a few cool mornings and the few days of rain, including the hurricane, and it would cool the water off a little bit. But I guess it's still.
I really thought it would.
I thought it would too. And
I was thinking maybe like 86, 87.
Mid to high 80s as far as water temps go, which would help a bunch.
Right.
But it's still hot. The water's still very, very hot. So that's kind of where we're at.
Yes, there's a lot of debris in the canals, but there's still a lot of cleanup that needs to be done, and there's still a lot of people suffering. There's still people without power. There's still a lot of cleanup and a lot of linemen out there, a lot of tree guys, the traffic back and forth. I mean, it's just,
Yeah, I've never seen so much traffic in Perry specifically in all of Taylor County as what we've had the last week. It's been just so much traffic. It's been crazy. You got all, obviously the linemen, which we want the linemen here. We want
Absolutely.
we can't thank them enough as far as getting power. I thought they did a great job in getting our power restored as quickly as they did. I know there's a lot of people that are still without power, but I would say that, a good majority of people, it's been restored.
Well, this morning or this afternoon, I guess you'd say, whenever I was loading the boat to come pick you up, one of the power company Tri-County workers pulled up and was talking to me in the yard, and he said that when Ron DeSantis showed up, there was, I think, 600 crews, and Ron seen what was going on, and he told them, we're going to have you more help. He said that within the next day they had 800.
Yeah.
The next day after that they had 1,600.
Yeah.
More crews showing up.
So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I thought they'd done a tremendous job as far as getting the power restored for as significant as some of the areas that were hit were.
And we're very thankful for all the support. I mean, we lost our refrigerator, we lost everything in it, so and stores were closed, so trying to get food. I mean, we still had some freezer stuff, but we really appreciate everyone coming together and providing meals, and the church down the road, Blue Creek.
Yeah.
They've done a great job helping with the Keaton Beach community with supplies and food. The Bird Rack, which is formerly known as the Beach Bar, they are going above and beyond as well. I mean, and a good friend of mine, he's actually tuning in right now, Captain Ron Sanderson. He called me the other day, asked me if Keaton had a need for food, and he and his son-in-law showed up with a trailer giving away barbecue meals. And so tomorrow around 11 o'clock, he is organized having a semi-truck full of supplies being delivered to the Bird Rack, the beach bar, around 11 o'clock. So if anyone's here and needs supplies, go up there.
Yeah. As far as the Keaton Beach area is concerned,
Correct.
It's the closest spot where resources and meals are being provided there. There has been some at the Keaton Beach boat ramp. They've had people there daily helping out. Hugh Deb White want to help you support you guys. Any guess when you will begin guiding again?
Man, I'm hoping a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of all depends on when they get the canals and stuff cleaned up, where we feel comfortable.
My bills are hoping a couple of weeks.
Where we feel comfortable getting customers out there and clients out there safely and back on the fish. We got to get back on the fish.
Yeah,
we haven't been out in a week, or today was the first time we'd been out in a week, and
we did catch fish or a fish.
Yeah.
We could have caught more.
But yeah, I mean, it's just going to take us some time to get out there. We'll try to slip out there maybe between stuff to see what's going on and try to keep everybody posted.
We're gonna try to hit up some more ramps and see what things are like, some of the rivers, and I know there's a lot of new hazards, and we'll take it easy, and we'll report back.
Yep. Yeah, maybe we'll do that between the next few days. We'll go check out the other ones in Taylor and Jefferson County. So hopefully we'll do that. Hugh says he just turned in what's the main canal like. There's a lot of stuff in the main canal, Hugh, especially from...
I'll share some pictures.
Yeah. If you want to throw some pictures up later on the page, you can do that. Kenny took some pictures of some of the debris. George, you're in a kayak, man. There ain't nothing going to slow you down. You can still, as long as you can have a spot to pull your kayak to, you can just paddle around any stuff on there. You ain't got to worry about hitting nothing with that. I'd say you're perfectly fine in a kayak or canoe to get out there. I think that's it's just really the main areas where there's debris in the water is in front of some of our beach communities. So in front of Deacle Beach, in front of Cedar Island, in front of Dark Island, in front of Keaton Beach. We didn't get down the Steenhatchee way, but I imagine there's
when I was down there earlier in the week, you could see stuff floating in the river.
But say they had a much more significant storm surge, and so when that surge left, I feel like it probably pulled a lot of stuff out of the river and out into some of the flats areas. So we haven't had a chance to get down there and look at that yet, but I plan on hoping to do that in the next week or so, get down there and look at all that.
Pat just texted me. Pat was planning on being here, but he had a lot of damage, a lot of tree damage at his house, and so he said that he just got down off of his barn patching a hole in the roof over his horses, so he's not going to be able to make it.
Right. Okay. So let me just go back. We've had some comments come in here that I missed. Jennifer and Terry Griggs, Florida pulled through this. Awesome job. Shows how communities. Yeah, I've seen so many people being, helping each other out. It's truly been inspiring as far as the helpfulness of everybody.
Absolutely.
Jared Larson, buy gift certificates for these guys for a future date. This will generate immediate revenue for these guys that are off the water right now.
I've had several people do that. It's such a blessing. You have no idea.
Yeah,
it helps so much.
Steve Black, who is selling the Big Ben Fishing Report shirts? I don't mind paying that price, but I don't want to pay shipping on top of that. Steve Black, that is a hacker, and I've been trying to get on there and limit the block the person that keeps posting that. You've seen that, right? Where they get on that, where they comment on
I'll
there.
work on getting that taken care of.
But we can, if you're interested in Steve, in a shirt, we can come up with a Big Ben Fishing Report.
Yeah, we can do that.
Design and shirt, and that might be a way for everybody to help contribute to what we got going on down here. So Steve, if you click on that link, that is a scam. So don't click on that. I've tried to block all the ones that I've seen pop up there, but it's hard to go through and get all of them because they are very persistent.
Yep.
And they'll go back and comment on some of the videos we've done months ago.
Yep.
So don't click on those. If it's not from one of us, if it's not from Kenny and it's not from me, then it's not associated with the Big Ben Fishing Report.
Typically, it's going to be under the Big Ben Fishing Report name from either one of us.
Right, exactly. So if you see something on there that's a name that you don't recognize, then it's most likely a scam. Kenny, you are all over. Kenny, you are all over the TV with your story. Love it. Good. Yeah, Kenny had a chance to speak out on our behalf here the last few days, and it's my mom. Hey, Mom. Yeah, I mean, we adjust this earlier. I think it's going to be a couple weeks before we can get back fishing again and running trips.
It should be good then.
I'm thinking, hopefully we'll get some cooler weather by then, and by the time we get back out and running trips, we'll be good to go. Steve, we'll try to maybe Kenny and I will talk, and Kenny knows everybody. I'm sure Kenny has a shirt guy.
Yes. P31 Graphics.
I'm sure Kenny has a shirt guy that can work something up for us for the Big Ben Fishing Report, Steve. So maybe look for that in the next couple months or so. We'll see if we can come up with something for the fishing report. Yeah. I don't know what else. You got anything else you want to add to what we've been talking about?
No.
I guess once we can kind of maybe talk a little bit about once things do start to get back, what the fishing should be like once it gets opened up. September, end of September, early October is kind of one of those transition times.
It is.
It's one of our, where we're finally getting out of that dreadful summer pattern. And
we've seen some of that transition today, even though, some of it we know is storm related, moving things around, but you can definitely see some shifts in where the fish are going to be.
I'll be curious once the water starts to clean up in some of those areas where all the, it's not so stirred up and silty from, the big waves and wind that we've had.
So she confirmed P31 Graphics.
Yeah, I mean, I think once things kind of settle down and get, back to their normal state, I mean, I think it should be good, man. I think it's going to be good. I've always heard that, fish kind of get moved around in these storms and you get new fish in and maybe we'll have a bunch of snook, blown into our area. I don't know. You just never know until you get out there.
I mean, last time we had bonefish. We were catching bonefish.
Yeah, exactly. In like January.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as our fishing goes in September into October, like we said, it's a kind of a transition period. I'll
definitely not my favorite during the transition. No. There's some good fishing opportunities.
There is, yeah. I'd say end of October is kind of my favorite. End of October, beginning of November is kind of my favorite. Once that you really start to get some of those cool fronts in and the water temperature gets back down to the 70s.
And it used to be October was a hot month, but it's
been
the last
warm.
Couple of years.
October stayed warm.
Yeah, it's been November.
It's been pushed back. Yeah. So maybe we'll get some. If we get some decent, not necessarily even cold fronts, just some where we get some nights in the consistently in the mid 60s,
Yeah.
that'll help a bunch.
Yeah.
Just getting that water temperature from being 91, 92, 93 in the afternoon to 85, 86.
Get rid of some of this floating grass.
Get rid of some of the floating grass. The redfish that I caught today, I mean, it felt like it felt warm.
Yeah.
When I picked it up out of the water, it literally felt warm. So yeah, water temperature's super hot. So I think you can look for, there's definitely some schools of redfish running around.
Yep.
In fact, the fish that we caught today was out of a school of redfish. I imagine that it'll get better once the water temp drops a little bit more because it's kind of a little bit inconsistent now. Some days they're there, some days they're not. And they seem to be kind of hanging in a little bit deeper water too. So
Right. We just happened to run by that school and turned around and caught one out of it.
So yeah, and then as far as the trout fishing goes, I think those, as we get into September, early October, those fish should start to kind of ease in, right, a little bit.
Yeah, they've
or they haven't really. Did they ever really push out?
They did when they spawned. They pushed out and got scattered, and it was tough. But then the majority of the summer, they were in that 4 to 6 foot range, really 3.5 to 5.5 feet, and that's pretty much, they've been consistently there for the last month and a half, 2 months. Yes, round bait.
Yeah.
And I'd imagine that bait we saw pushed in, that was probably that same bait. And
was that what you were out there catching? It's mostly ballyhoo.
Ballyhoo.
A lot of ballyhoo.
Ballyhoo, glass minnows,
yeah.
pilchards.
Yeah. There's a lot of ballyhoo around in some areas. Yeah, if you start seeing a bunch of ballyhoo in some of the areas right now when you get back out, that's definitely an area that you want to concentrate in. Any surface feeding activity, anything, active on the surface, or, you just set up a drift through that area and you'll be good. What's up, Harry? Thanks for joining us tonight, Harry. Appreciate you, man. I hadn't talked to you in a while. We need to get up together. But yeah, anyway, I don't know. Anything else you want to add as far as the end of September, early October?
Yeah,
it's not going to change too much between now and when we come back at the beginning of October.
It's not.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get on the water to even.
I foresee us being able, mid September, mid.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. I'm thinking a couple of weeks, but I do want to give a shout out to Captain Chris Williamson Outfitters. He has really been trying to get us some help. The guides in our area, and I'm drawing a blank. Bob Wilkerson. Big Bend Fly Fishing Club. Bob is the president of the Big Bend Fly Fishing Club. And the 850 Media group, they're the ones that did that interview and posted the video that's going around. And I can't thank them enough for trying to get support for all the guides in the area.
For sure, yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. If you guys have any other questions or anything as far as, what's going on down here, we will. Yeah, Bob's the man, Harry. Bob is the man. Steve, do y'all have any way to contact y'all for advanced guide trips? Love to book one to help y'all. Yeah, just our phone numbers through there. I can give you mine. Mine's 850-371-1022. It's Plug and Fly Charters on Facebook and Instagram, and Kenny.
Real Epic Charters. My phone number is 850-838-6101, and Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah.
You can. Several people has bought gift certificates to use for a later date on my website at realepicharters.com or KeatonBeachFishing.com.
Yeah. So that being said, I guess we're going to kind of wrap it up here in the next few minutes. As we're just wanted to jump on and just kind of give everybody an update of how we're doing and what it looks like out there. I
hope they'll let us, go out and help do this cleanup.
Yeah, I mean, that's a valuable resources. You got some local guides with some very valuable, knowledge of the area and how to get around and not get stuck.
I'm shocked no one's reached out to us.
Nobody's reached out to us for help. We'll be happy to help, get the canal back and even some of the stuff out there that's on the flats some of that debris.
We picked up stuff today.
Picked up. So, yeah, we'll be happy to help. We have the resources, the tools, and the knowledge to help that go a little bit more smoothly, maybe otherwise. So, maybe they will. Maybe they'll reach out to us.
Yeah.
If you guys don't have anything else, I think we're going to kind of wrap it up. We want to thank Stephanie here at Keaton Beach Trading Post for letting us come on here. She is one of the, I guess, few people down here at Keaton Beach that actually has internet where we could actually do this.
Yeah, she's another one. She's been a great help of everyone. You know, I've called her for questions, and you know, she's helped facilitate things. It's she's a blessing to the community.
Oh, absolutely. And then Jared and Monica up there at
oh, no doubt.
Keaton Beach Bums, they're up and running. They've got, I mean, they really, I mean, you would never even know that a hurricane hit here a week ago based on how they're running. So the store is fine, and everything like that. So if you need to get in there, they've got fuel and everything in there that you need.
Yep, we bought fuel and drinks there today.
So, Steve Berryhill, I know you're going to mark some of that stuff and send me the numbers. Yeah, most of the stuff is visible, Steve. It's hard to miss out there. I'm sure there's some stuff, other stuff.
Well, it was a low tide. When we came back in, stuff in the canal was not as visible.
Yeah, that's true. Yep, definitely. George put together a beach cleanup, and we're there. Yeah, it's more of a canal cleanup. George is like,
we're trying to figure out who's going to oversee it. Who do we need to contact? I've been trying. I went to the county commissioner and.
So anyway, all right. I guess that's what. If you guys don't have any other last minute things that you want to ask or say on here, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up maybe a little bit early and get on back to the house. Is there anybody else that we need to thank or check in on or that I missed? I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's it. We will definitely be on here beginning of October.
I will say, if you do come down, be careful with your stuff. There's been a lot of looters, a lot of transients showing up, people being arrested every day.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind.
Yeah, I'm ready for that to kind of all blow over and things to get back to normal. Yeah, appreciate it, Harry.
Yeah, he was in Live Oak.
Yeah, he didn't even come to the bad part. All right, so that's it for me, for Kenny Mullins. I'm Captain Jay Carson, and we will be on in October, and hopefully we'll have a little bit more fishing stuff that we can talk about in there. And then hopefully we'll get some cooler weather by then. Water temps down, and the fishing will be good, and we'll have some good reports for you. We will try to hop on here in the next maybe week or two and just kind of give you an update or status of some of those ramps farther to the west and north of us, and maybe give you an update on those.
And I'll get some pictures put up.
Yeah, and Kenny said he's going to post some pictures of some of the stuff in the canal and that we ran across today, so look for that. All right, guys, that's it. We will see you guys in October. Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you then.